Yo, what is going on, guys? Crypto Vibes here, also known as Crypto. I'm bringing you guys another video, and today, guys, I am bringing you another league. So, yeah, this is definitely something new on the channel. Now, you guys are familiar with these by now, but this is the Krash, and basically, my friend Bash asked me if I wanted to join a league or basically co-run it with him. So, I was like, yeah, man, I'm definitely down. And yeah, that's basically the idea with the Krash. Is basically our names put together, Bash and Crypto. So pretty solid overall, and yeah, we're just looking to have a fun league overall. I think it's semi-competitive, I'm not sure, but it should be just fun overall. I wanted to draft a team. I was very just draft a team was very fun for me, and definitely some new stuff. So with that being said, this is a 12-coach league, and it is actually upload required too, which is really cool because I always think it's fun watching the other coaches like matches with you and stuff like that, and all the coaches would be able to upload the matches and draft analysis and stuff like that. We even do have the Krash YouTube channel, which me and Tristan, which is another analyst in the league, that will be uploading content up to there, like whether it be the draft analysis for some of the teams, power rankings, weekly recaps, just whatever we can do on the channel and stuff like that. While like Bash, Tsumami, and like Jimmy, who's in the league as well, I've been in leagues with him before, probably join us as well in the videos. As well as I want to shout out to the admins. We have Tsumami and Honor, both helping me and Bash out a lot with the league, whether it's just send out announcements, work on the dock, or just stuff like that. So really glad to have them back in here from the UPC, so should be fun. But getting into the more draft aspect of the video, yeah, this is a point style draft. You have 105 total points, and you are required pretty much to draft 9 to 11 Pokemon, which means you can have 9, 10, or 11 Pokemon. However it fits your 105 total point mark. You cannot have 12 Pokemon, you cannot have 10, or you cannot have 8. You can't have anything outside of 9 to 11. And then you are actually required to pick one meme pick. This meaning, if you guys are familiar with point style drafts, it functions, well, ours functions anywhere from 18 to 1 point, meaning 18 is the best and all the way to 1 is the worst. Meme pick is considered 1 point or 2 points. And then if you ask an admin, I'm sure there's a couple of 3-point mons that are somewhat memes, I'm pretty sure. So that's basically the idea with that, and that's just a really fun aspect to it, to the draft. It'll make you, like, I'm pretty sure like most people are going to bring the meme pick at least once this year, if not more. I know for sure I am. I love my meme pick, as it's really cool. But yeah, they get into the draft positionings. It was 12 coaches, like I said, and I was actually in charge of randomizing the order. So I saw this order before anybody else. I could randomize it again for all I wanted, but I would definitely feel guilty doing that, and I wasn't about to do that. So I actually ended up getting the 10th overall pick, which I'm actually okay with. It was a little unfortunate because I was eyeing something in this draft that I knew I would have probably had to get top 5 to get. But I did get like the 10th pick, which out of 12 coaches I'm okay with because it's really close to the wheel. It's not like the middle exactly. It's a decent pick, I guess. It's nothing terrible. So yeah, the mon I was really aiming for was going to be Tapu Koko. I believe that did end up going 6th. So it was giving me a little bit of sense of hope like it would make it, but it got picked up 6th, and yeah. So this draft actually did allow a couple of really cool megas, being like Mega Kang, Mega Latios, and Mega Mawile, so keep that in mind. So coming all the way to my 10th, to the 10th pick, I was eyeing Tapu Koko, like I said, that got picked up, so there was a lot of mons still there. There was Latios I was considering. I think Mega Scizor I was looking over for a Mega. I like Mega Scizor, I've used it before. I want to try out some new stuff though. So, and when it came to my pick, I was looking at some of the top mons that were still around. Mew was still around, so I could have picked Mew again. I've used Mew before. I believe Landorus Therian was still around with the 10th pick, so that was really cool, but I've used Landorus a ton as well. And another mon that was there at the 18-point mark was a Mega. And how this Mega was still there at the 10th pick overall, I really don't know. But yeah, getting into that, that is Mega Mawile, Flesh Pound right here. And yeah, Megamall was somehow still around as the 10th pick in the draft. It was 18 points, so one of the most expensive mons in the draft. So it does take a huge gap out of my 105 right now. I believe that leaves me at 87 total points, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'll get into Megamall. I'm just going to get a drink real quick. Yeah, with Megamall on them, the breaking potential on this mon is ridiculous. You guys can see the stats on the side right there. Absolutely insane on the offensive side paired with huge power. 210 base attack, that's a little insane. If you don't know, huge power basically doubles your attack. So 210 base attack, ridiculous. Obviously, its speed is lacking at base 50. Not exactly ideal. You do want to support that in the best nature you can, whether it's with Sticky Webs, Trick Room, Speed Pass, Momentum, just any of that kind of support to help Megamall get in and just start ripping things apart. His defensive stats are really solid. 125 defense, which is really, really good as a steel type, and 95 special defense. Definitely can take some special hits for sure, outside like fire types. It is weak to ground, but being 125 defense is really solid. If you put some HP investment, it can definitely lift some ground hits because his HP is pretty poor. But getting into the abilities, I talked about Huge Power as its Mega ability. It does have some very useful pre-Mega abilities. Obviously, in this league, you do have to Mega turn 1, but coming in, these abilities are pretty useful, even on a turn before you Mega, being Intimidate and Hyper Cutter. Mainly Intimidate, because you can get the Intimidate off on a potential threat that you see, or just a mon in general that you want to be able to like set up a Swords Dance on easier, or just attack without having to worry about taking too much damage. It's really solid. So before you Mega Evolve, I would recommend Intimidate for sure most of the time. Hyper Cutter is really cool to deal with like Parting Shot mons, different Intimidators that you don't want to deal with. So that's the idea behind Megamall. Just really, really solid mon overall. With my total draft, I feel like I didn't really pick the best supporting cast around it to make it function as it should, I guess, to shine the best. But I feel like I picked a very, very good offensive core. You're going to see. I think all 4 of them, I picked 4 offensive mons, yes, that are really, really good at breaking together. And I think that they'll just function and shine really well together, and it will be more of a team effort than anything. So get into my next mon. The type diversity, or the defensive synergy between like my first few picks, you're going to see isn't going to be exactly the greatest because my team is pretty offensive. But I do try to patch as many of those weaknesses as possible. But getting into my next mon, this mon was one of my free agent transactions. Basically, right after the draft, we had the option to use 2 free transactions, which means like if you got sniped in the draft, we were going to allow ourselves to get 2 free transactions that didn't actually go into your actual transactions throughout the season. So if you want to make those moves, you had 2 days to do so, and I actually made 3 transactions, meaning 2 of them went towards my free transactions, and then the last one went towards my actual transaction throughout the year, or throughout the season, which you have 4 of, so I'm down to 3 total. Hopefully I explained that okay. But I'm down to 3 free trade transactions throughout the year, and you can trade with coaches as many times as you need to, which is really cool. And I did make 3 transactions, like I said. So this this analysis isn't the exact draft, but I'll try to explain what I drafted and then what I replaced it with here. But getting into my next mon, it originally was Tornadus Therian. So I've used Tornadus Therian in about 5 draft leagues, and it was still sitting on the board as, in the second round, obviously early second round, as a 14-point mon, which, in my opinion, is a little low for it personally. I think it should be about 15, which is obviously 1 point higher, but I think it is a really solid mon. I did, in fact, drop it, though, to pick up another mon, just for the main fact that I use it all the time. I wanted to use some new stuff. I do have a couple mons on the team that I've used before, but not nearly as much as Tornadus. Tornadus is still still my favorite mon in format for sure, but I want to try out some new stuff. As I get into my next mon, it does relate to Tornadus a little bit. It does relate to it a little bit, being that it's Thunderous Incarnate, Aladdin right here. Now this mon I've definitely used before, but not nearly as much as Tornadus. And it's 16 points, so a little bit more expensive than Tornadus, for sure. But it's definitely worth. And I did not mention this at the beginning of the draft, but this is actually, in this league, you are actually required to pick a Z Crystal. So every coach drafts a Z Crystal. If you've ever watched A-Drive's league, the WBE, I believe, WBE, then every coach drafts a Z Crystal and not Z Captains, which, in my opinion, nerfs Thunderous a little bit, considering it's not as diverse with its Z moves, considering its Double Dance set is really, really good. But it is still very, very solid nonetheless. Double Dance set can still wreck through some teams. And then I do have a Z move that it can benefit from, at least decently. So that's very nice there. Thunder Side, obviously the stats, you can see them there once again. The special attack and attack are both really insane. 115 attack, 125 special attack, and then 111 speed is all you really could ask for in an attack, and just an offensive mon in general. With his defensive stats being decent, and then HP is just 79, which is, it's meh at best, so... That's Thunderous Eye. The abilities kind of speak for themselves. These are just 2 really, really solid abilities. Prankster being really good on this mon, considering you can get clutch Thunder Waves off on certain mons to stop sweeps. You can get clutch defogs off now, which are really important considering this thing does get defogged now. And what is it? it gets oh my gosh, it gets Prankster Taunt, which is really good too for, I guess it's really good. Prankster, you don't really need Prankster for Taunt on this mon. I guess it does help you in some scenarios, but it's good for like stopping like slow rockers, I guess, like Taunt in general. And I love Taunt. I'll run Taunt every week if I need to. But yeah, Thundurus is really solid overall. The electric types are really good in the format. At least, well, they're decent in the format. Some of the really top ones are really good, like Koko, the Thundurus forms, and Zapdos. I would consider the 4 best. So this sitting around at the beginning of round 2, I was glad, or it was a free agent. So yeah, it didn't even get drafted, which was insane. So I decided to pick it up. That was the idea behind that. So yeah, after Thundurus and Megamall, I actually wanted to pick up my Dragon type. Like I said, defensive synergy is like, it doesn't make the most sense like through my first 4 picks. Yeah, my first 4 picks doesn't make the most sense. But I do try to patch up those weaknesses later on. As I do think these first 4 picks, just offensively, just break almost anything you could ask for besides one thing I'll just talk about. But getting into my next mon, it is my Dragon type. It is part ground as well. It gives me a second Stealth Rocker outside of Megamall, so I'm not forced to run Megamall on Stealth Rocks every time. And that Pokemon is Garchomp. Surge right here, Garchomp. It was 15 points, so this being here at round 3, the end of round 3 at that was really, really insane. A lot of things went undrafted or picked very, very late. I was surprised about. I actually thought about picking Infernape in this draft, and it got sniped up for me, but that was like sniped in the 8th round, so I was like, what the heck is that still doing there? So I thought about picking it, but it's okay. I got what I wanted. We got Garchomp right here. Garchomp's really, really solid. I've never used Garchomp before in draft. I think it's a solid mon. It's a very, very good dragon. It's a really reliable rocker. Obviously, it does have that 4 times weakness to ice. You do need to be careful about, whether it's with the Yachi Berry you want to patch it with, like screens to support over it, or just the right defensive typing in the back to just, you know, stop out those ice types, which is something you want to watch out for. And obviously, fairy types I can deal with right now with Megamall, and then I do have a couple ones in the future that just destroy fairies, which is awesome. So, yeah, Garchomp obviously being a pretty reliable rocker. Its stats you can see over there from see over there. This mon is very underrated as a physical attacker in my opinion. As once again, I feel like it's nerfed a little bit with the Z Crystal option, or drafting a Z Crystal option over a Z Captain. As I would make this my second Z Captain, but this mon's attack is the same as Mamoswine. The mon everybody raves about being one of the hardest mons to switch into in draft formats. Garchomp does have a Dragon type over an Ice type of Mamoswine, which I think Ice is a little bit better offensively, considering fairies are now a thing. Well, they've been a thing since Gen 7. So yeah. So Garchomp is still really, really solid, and then does have access to like Stone Edge, Fire Fang, Iron Tail, Iron Head, Rock Slide. Just other support options, which is really cool about it. It does get SD. It does not get Dragon Dance, which is a little unfortunate, but it does get Swords Dance, which is really solid for like those slower, bulkier mons that you want to break through, which is really good overall because Earthquake Spam is always fun. And yeah, overall Garchomp's really, really solid. I think its abilities, some Sandbell and Rough Skin will mainly be there every week. Just to get like clutch chip off on certain physical attackers, which is really, really nice actually to help some of my sweepers like Thundurus, Megamall, and even my next mon I'm about to explain. And then even we have Sandbell as an option because I believe there is one. I believe Honor actually drafted a Sand Core, like a little bit of Sand Core, not a Sand Team, but so I could run Sandbell against him maybe. That could be an option. But yeah, and Garchomp also gives me a decent speed tier at 102, as we have a 111 Thundurus Eye, 102 speed Garchomp, and then a 50 speed Megamall. So yeah. Megamall does have a little bit of support from the Volt Switch from Thundurus, and I do pick up a couple U-turners in the draft that can help out. Actually, hold on. Did I pick up your U-turner? Okay, I actually have one U-turner. I have one U-turner and one Volt Switcher to help out Megamall while getting. But yeah, my U-turner is actually up next, and it's not the most ideal U-turner. This is a Fire type. I do not. I don't think Fire types are like a necessity to a team, but I saw the potential of this thing with my team as a breaker, and it broke a couple things that the 3 had trouble with, being like certain steel types, whether it's Levitate, Steel Flying like Celestial, Skarmory. I want to be able to break through those mons. I hate facing those mons. They're ridiculously hard to deal with. I guess Celestial and stuff Thundurus can deal with, but I want the extra insurance with a Fire type, and this mon is going to be Volcarona Helios. So I got the nickname, I believe it was from Coach Oak and his the UPC, so I saw it and I was like, oh dang, that sounds really cool. And I couldn't really think of another name, so I went with Helios, so shout out to Oak for that. As it's a 12-point mon, so in my opinion 12 points is severely underrated for this mon. I think it should be like 14, maybe 15, but obviously it does require a lot more support than some of those mons. which is why it is lower in my opinion. But yeah, I do feel like in the later part of this draft, I do patch up for its 4 times weakness to rock pretty nicely, as well as just support it pretty nicely defensively. As you can see the stats over there, once again, really nice def, really decent HP. So after it gets equipping, it's up. Special attackers are not really breaking through it all the best. And then physical attackers, if they want to make contact with this thing, then they have the potential chance to get flame bodied and burn themselves, which give me the option to potentially roost up or even set up even more. So that's always an option right there. Once again, this seems like the theme of my team so far. I feel like the Z crystals nerf this thing a little bit because this could be a potential Z user as well. I was Z captain, as I do pick up a Z crystal though, like I'm saying. So all my mons that I have, I can still use, obviously Z them, but it's in one typing. So teams will be ready for that if they expect the Z move to be on that certain mon. But yeah, Helios overall gives me 100 space speed, which obviously my speed tiers are kind of weird right now. I have 100, 102, and 111, which are all really close together. And my speed tiers throughout the whole draft aren't exactly the greatest. I don't have a faster mon than Thunderous Eye if I remember correctly, but maybe I'll have to pick up something later in the future, a faster mon. But for now, this is what we're rocking with. And full Corona, I just feel like I said, breaking through certain steals that my team have trouble with already is going to be very nice. Breaks through grass types, which is really good because none of my 3 beginning mons really like dealing with bulky grass types, I guess. Outside of Megamall, I could deal with it, I guess. So Volcarona really just helped out overall. There's a couple of ground types, I would say, that deal with this core or these 4 mons decently well. I don't really want to talk about it because I just don't want to give it away because they are drafted. But yeah, that'd be like the only typing I would say that give this core a little bit of trouble breaking. But other than that, like this core can break through almost anything. It is ridiculously good offensively. I've went through like so many scenarios where this core can like just break through anything, and it's just really good. So after this pick, I definitely needed to pick up some defense to the team, or some kind of backbone, defensive backbone to help out the core. And this thing being here round 5, or yeah, round 5. I believe it was at the... I did not explain about Volcarona either, or Volcarona. It was another transaction pickup for me. I actually had Galvantula before that, so I was going with like Galvantula Webs look with Megamall Wild, but I decided to go for the offensive core I was talking about. And pick up Volcarona, which was 12 points over Galvantula. That was 10 points. So that was the idea there. And yeah, I think it's really solid. And yeah, get into my next one like I was talking about. This is my water type because I wanted something that could help Garchomp with the ice types. Obviously, I did have Volcarona, but it's not like really a great switch into most ice types, considering most are like physical, and most ice types will have like other coverage. Especially like for a Volcarona, they might have like rock coverage or something. So I wanted a good water type. I wanted a water type that could deal with ice types. I wanted a water type that could deal with rock types. Really solidly deal with just all that sort of nonsense. Ground types, even better. And I decided to go with Milotic. Sitting in the 5th round. This is Matt. This is based off Matt Elishia, the YouTuber. I really like his content for sure, so shout out to him. And yeah, this mon has 12 points as well as Volcarona, so it is I'm definitely taking a huge gap out of my points early, with Megamall being 18, Thunderous being 16, Garchomp being 15, Volcarona and this being 12. I do need to be careful with my points in the future, and some of my mons are going to be a little bit cheaper, so... obviously, Milotic is one of those mons that is just so bulky and so hard to deal with on the special side, and as well as having that option for Marvel Scale Flame Orb on the physical side makes this thing all the more difficult. Yeah, Milotic is it's not something I've used very much, so I'm a little nervous to try it out as one of my main defensive mons. It is my main defensive mon throughout the whole team, actually. And it does have its own reliable recovery and recover, which is really cool for water type, considering most of them, if not all of them, require wish or like rest or roost or something. So that's really cool for Milotic in that sense. Yeah, Milotic also gives me a really nice speed tier at 81. As a defensive mon like this with 81 speed is actually really cool because it forces offensive mons that would be at like, it forces offensive mons that, let's say, for example, like a Nidoqueen. Like a Nidoqueen with a base 76 speed, and it wants to run defensive and just get up rocks against my team. It may want to try to be outrun my Milotic, and I'll force it to run some speed and then take some out of defense, so that maybe makes my Scald / like Hydro Pump if I want to run it, and then like I can deal with that a lot easier that way. For example, that could be like one scenario. Maybe that's not the best scenario, but that's one scenario where it could work against certain mons that just don't outspeed this. They're forced to run more speed, which is nice. Yeah, that's the idea behind Milotic. It gives me a really nice reliable water type, and I was surprised it was still there around 5, so really cool for that. And get into my next one. This was my last transaction pick I had to make. It was basically a filler for Mesprit. I had Mesprit originally. I still wish I had Mesprit, but with the offensive core I picked up, I had to go with something cheaper. And this is actually my rock type. I do end up getting a psychic type in the future. Don't worry. And but yeah, this is Reggie. This is Reggie. Ronnie Coleman right here. Actually, only 5 points. So Mesprit ended up being 9, and this was 5 points. I had to drop down 4 points. And Regirock was another stealth rocker. I wanted to fill in Mesprit's role as another stealth rocker, as well as Regirock is just overall pretty decent mon. It doesn't really get too much love in the format overall, basically because its defensive typing is just not very good. Rock defensively is just pretty bad. Even though it's obviously a really, really good fire switch in. Granted, it doesn't get burnt. It's a really good. What other typings does this resist? Is that the only thing? I guess it can switch in ice types and stuff, electric type decently, which is nice because it's defensive stats. As you can see, 200 defense, 100 SPDF, and then 80 HP. That's no joke at all. And its attack being 100, so it's not like a setup fodder at all. It gets access to rock polish. It can set up offensively. Like this thing, I'm expecting to be offensive and defensive. Like I'm not just sitting and I'm not bringing it just for rocks, man. This is a fun league. I'm going in with this thing. It's gonna be fun. And then abilities, we have Clear Body and Sturdy. So Clear Body, obviously, same circumstances as the Megamall. Wow, with Hyper Cutter before Mega Evolving, you can't get your stats lowered, which is really cool. So if I'm like a rock polish set and I'm facing Sticky Webs or something, well, wait. Yeah, if I come in on Sticky Webs and then want to set up a rock polish or something, then that helps me out. Or if Mon comes in and wants to intimidate me, it can't because I'm Clear Body. And then obviously I do have access to Sturdy, which is very nice too. It gives me like a focus, essential focus sash. And then I could be like a weakness policy Sturdy set with like rock polish. That could be really cool if my opponent has like really weak priority. That could be an option there. Because I think Regirock was just a pretty nice filler. It's not Mesprit, of course, but it's really cool, and I just want to show it some love considering it does not really get too much love in the format. So yeah, my next mon is by far my most familiar mon on the team, and I've used it before in a lot of leagues, and I just wanted to use it again because it's like my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's one of my favorite T-Spike users. Actually, yeah, I'd say it's my favorite T-Spike user, and it is a part Dark type. So, and I think Dark types are just so important to a draft point in total. And being that it's a poison type, and you can just get rid of that psychic type or weakness with the Dark type and only have one weakness being ground, Drapion really fits that nicely. And this Purple Wave Drapion sitting at 8 points, which hold on 1 second. 8 points for Drapion, not bad in my opinion. Obviously it gets T-Spikes like I was talking about. Stats wise it's pretty decent. I guess it's mediocre in areas, but defense being 110 is pretty solid, so it's a good defensive mon. If you want to run Assault Vest with Drapion, it definitely has the coverage to do so, especially with utility like knockoff, so it's really solid there. Gets options to, like, I think it's Poison. It's Poison Tail? No, Poison Tail doesn't do the same thing as Dragon Tail. It gets options to, like, Poison Jab, obviously, Cross Poison, Earthquake, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, I believe, maybe even Thunder Fang. X Scissor, I believe. It gets cool coverage moves for sure. It gets setup moves in like Agility. I don't know if it gets any more, maybe Home Claws. I don't know about that, but it gets really cool options for sure. And then T-Spikes are really just cool. And then T-Spike Absorber is just really solid as well. So it fills in a lot of roles that my team wanted to fill in for sure. And it's just really solid overall. So get into my next mon. My team at the moment doesn't really have a good defog or spinner. I do have Tornado, or I do have Thunderous as a prankster defogger, which is something. And then I do have maybe Volcarona gets defog, I'm not sure. But anyways, with Volcarona, I did want to add some support weather, and I really, or not weather, but I want to add some support. And I really wanted it to be Rapid Spin over defog just because I do have the T-Spike option now. And if I want to bring like T-Spikes plus Volcarona plus my spinner, then I would want to keep my T-Spikes up. So basically with all that said, I want to get a cheap spinner, and I want to get something I've never used once again, and that was a fighting type, and it is the Hitmon I've never used, and that is Hitmonchan Apollo right here. And it was sitting at 5 points, so I thought that was really, really solid for Hitmonchan, considering all the diversity this thing contains, in my opinion, which I'll explain here shortly. And as you can see, the stats over there, it has 105 base attack with options like Mach Punch, which is really solid. So obviously it's really cool for picking off like sturdy Pokemon. It's really, like, that's a bad example. It's really cool for picking off like fast Pokemon that are set up and really injured or something like that. It's good. It's a really good Assault Vest user. It's a very, very good Assault Vest user, considering you can run Rapid Spin, like Drain Punch, Mach Punch. It does not get knockoff, which bugs me. It bugs me so much it does not get knockoff, but other than that, like, it gets almost everything you can ask for. It doesn't get Poison Jab either, which is a little annoying for fairies, but I can deal with that. It doesn't get knockoff, though. Like, that's the main thing I have with this mon, but other than that, it's really, really solid. And base 105 attack with Iron Fist is really solid, in my opinion. Just being able to break through some things with those elemental punches, whether it's close combat, it gets high jump kick too if you really want a little bit stronger attack. Mach Punch for priority, like I was explaining. And then it does get cool setup moves like Agility and Bulk Up, so those are two really solid ones as well, which I think could be really solid. And obviously the main reason, like I talked about with Rapid Spin, was the idea behind that. And I think Hitmonchan will be really cool for the team. Not obviously the best mon, but with my points, I do have to be careful with them now and stuff like that, so yeah, that's the idea behind Hitmonchan Apollo right here. Excited to use it for sure. And get into my next one. This is my Psychic type. Filling up my Fighting Psychic Dark typing with Drapion, Hitmonchan, and now Espeon. So this gives me the main reason. I'm sure you can guess it with the Volcarona. I'm sure you can guess my main reason behind picking this. But yeah, you can see the stats. It's got very, very nice special attack, very, very nice speed. Special attack being 130 is so good. That matches up with Garchomp's physical attack of being 130. So that just shows how strong Espeon is. Sitting at 8 points, it was really, really good option in my opinion. Aphrodite, the nickname by the way. And then obviously you look at the abilities, Synchronize, and then Magic Bounce. So Magic Bounce paired with Volcarona is really, really nice. I considered, like, I saw Volcarona this whole draft, and I considered going Mega Diancie, but I believe it even got picked up before it got to me. So I was considering going like a Mega Diancie Volcarona core, which could have been cool, but I do like the options I have here. As Espeon gives me Magic Bounce, obviously, to like scare opponents from going for hazards, to like, you know, weaken Volcarona, because Volcarona is very, very weak to Stealth Rocks, as well, like Spikes and Toxic Spikes, which is annoying. So it's not good against hazards at all. So I need support around it, and if I give it the proper support and I utilize it properly, then Volcarona can be a massive threat this season. So that's the idea behind Espeon. I also think Espeon is just a very, very good diverse mon, once again, like Hitmonchan. I think it has a lot of sets, like underrated sets as well. I think it's a very, very good dual screen user with Light Clay. I think it is a very, very good Calm Mind setter, considering it does get its own reliable recovery in Morning Sun as well. So, and being that most teams really don't have like the best psychic answers. Like, you can have a Steel type, but after I set up a couple Calm Minds, Psychics are going to hurt, and your Dark types are not going to enjoy taking Dazzling Gleams. So it does have options like Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, obviously Hidden Powers, Signal Beam. Stuff like that, really, really solid. So it can break through some teams that they're setting with some Calm Minds. And then it does get access to Baton Pass to get things in like my Megamall out. So I guess I do have a little bit more momentum than I thought. I think this is my only Baton Pass user. Megamall gets Baton Pass, but I'm never going to run that. Thundurus gets Volt Switch. Volcarona gets U-Turn, I did not mention that. And then the Hitmonchan, or not Hitmonchan, but Espeon gets Baton Pass. So those are my momentum options there. Not the greatest, obviously, but it is there. And then getting into my last mon, we have Meganium, my meme pick. This is Littlefoot. Now, this mon was 2 points, which is not amazing. Which is, I mean, it's 2 points, so I'll take it. As its stats are looking like 80 HP, 82 attack, 100 defense, 83 special attack, 100 special defense, and 80 speed. So overall, very, very average. Its defensive stats look very, very solid. 80 HP is okay. 82 and 83 attacks are like, they're meh, but it doesn't get options to like Swords Dance, which is kind of cool on the physical side. So this thing could definitely put in some work, as it does get reliable recovery in Synthesis and Leech Seed, which is really, really good. It gets Aromatherapy, so it's a second Cleric. I did not mention that Espeon gets Heal Bell as well. So those are very cool options for that. And then, like, this thing's just annoying, too. Like, it seems like it'd be hard to take down. Like, pure grass types do have a decent amount of weaknesses, like Bug, Poison, Fire, Flying. I could go on. There's a couple more I can't really think of, but this one's cool. Its abilities are not the greatest. Overgrow and Leaf Guard. Overgrow would be my most used one, even though, like, it wouldn't really be the best, considering this mon isn't the fastest. 80 speed's okay, but it's not the greatest. But yeah. Meganium fills out my Fire, Water, Grass. I do have a Psychic Dark Fighting, and I do have the Fairy Dragon Steel cores. So I thought those were really, really nice to have overall. And yeah, that's the team, other than my Z Crystal, of course. So getting to my Z Crystal, I had a lot of mons. Like, Z Crystals went early in this draft, man. Like, I was surprised how early some of these Z Crystals were going. I guess not really, but So I just decided to wait for my Z Crystal at the end of the draft, see what would fall to me. And I did have 4 points left, so I could get any Z Crystal basically I wanted, considering the 4-point Z Crystals were the most expensive. And I don't know if I regret the Z Crystal or not, but I definitely would consider changing it now. Yeah, I would consider changing it. As there was a couple Z Crystals I really wanted. Fire MZ was really one I wanted because Garchomp, Volcarona, Drapion, Hitmonchan, all these mons could utilize it. Even Z Sunny Day would have been really, really cool on some of my mons. And then I actually considered Groundium, which actually got sniped up, or got picked up, I guess. Garchomp obviously could utilize that again. It gives me Z Sandstorm. I guess it's not as good for my team. And then there's one more in the free agency, which I'm considering picking up, which can be pretty solid for my team overall. But getting to the one I actually picked up, Normalium Z, which was 4 points total. Meaning I have 0 points left in the draft, and we are done. And the Normalium Z is really, really cool for status moves. It gets like Z Heal Bell, which could be cool on Espeon, or Espeon, because you get rid of status and you heal back up to full, which obviously it's not the greatest option considering you have Morning Sun and stuff. I don't really remember all the normal Z moves off the top of my head for status was, but I want to keep those hidden anyways, just in case they come into play later. And then obviously it does give me like nukes on the normal side, or normal attacks. It gives me like nukes and stuff for like physical moves, Giga Impact, and then Hyper Beam on the special side. So those are options I could do there. So I'm really considering swapping it out, considering like I have other options, but then again, there's so much good status moves with this. Like I might try it out. So yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Like I said, I don't know if I said this already. Actually, I'm pretty sure I said it, but this is a YouTube required league, upload required. And every coach will be uploading the league for sure. We have a Krash league as well, which me and another analyst, Tristan, will be uploading to. As often as we can, honestly. We're going to try to get draft recap up with all the teams and whatnot. We're going to kind of grade over them all and stuff like that. We're going to get up like, we'll try to get up like weekly recap videos too, I believe, and then as well as like standings and all that, and just all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys, like I said, and hopefully you guys did enjoy. And that's gonna be it for me. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe if you really would appreciate it, and peace.